Good afternoon. Today I'm going to share a bit about failure, and in particular the fear of failure and this illusion of failure. So I'm out, it's quite a misty, wet day out on the moors, and I'm just in the garden here. And oops, it's rather wet, it's been very wet and boggy November. So what I thought I'd talk about today, which is basically coming up for myself, is about failure. Now, this is something that I feel within myself about failure, and there is an aspect of me who feels that I am a failure. And I was reflecting on this and doing some work and doing some tapping, and I realised that there are times when I feel like I'm failing in this lifetime. I thought, why is this? And as I reflected, I thought, wait a minute, there's probably a lot of us who feel that sense of failure. Partly of how the world is, so I thought, right, okay, let's give a bit of a talk about failure, and in particular the fear of failure. So we have this dichotomy, I see, about failure. Now I see that on one level we're all completely unique. We're all individuals, yeah? And yet then there's the collective, and I see the collective is kind of, like the media. The media who's saying, this is how we should. And because we're off here and, we're all unique, all of the 6-7 billion people on the planet, every single person is unique. And yet there is this pulling and this calling that says you've got to be like this, you've got to be like the collective, you've got to have the car, the house and this. And if you're not, then there's something wrong with it, you're a failure. And this is a part of what I feel sometimes, is, I was part of that for a while. I was part of that system of, having the career, working in London, having a successful job, and then quitting it, and then becoming more of an individual. And there is part of us that feels like we are a failure. Now, what am I saying here is that we have to ask, we all know that we're individuals, so the first thing I would say is that if you feel a failure, that's a good sign. That's a good sign if you feel like you're failing in life. Okay, and I'll come back to that a bit more later. But it's really good that you feel a failure, because that shows that actually something's working. That shows that you are unique, you are honouring yourself. Kind of this point about over here, about trying to be like the others, I see that we have to ask, who is it who's wanting us to be different? Why are they wanting us to be different? And a lot of the times we've got to be like the Joneses because someone is trying to sell us something. It's not coming from the heart space. It's not coming from this is for your highest good. It's no, this is for my bottom line. This is for my profit. So we're being told, no, it's not good to be an individual, to have your own likes. You've got to have what we tell you to like. So therefore we are set up to feel like we're failing. And we're not. We're completely unique. And the more we get in touch with our uniqueness, the more we see our creative genius. You see this with children, the laughter, the joy, and us saying to them more and more, oh no, you've got to be like this, you've got to do it this way, you've got to learn this way. They might have a completely different way of doing something, which is not only just as good, it's probably better. But we're saying, no, it's best not that you do that. So that for me is, in essence, if you're feeling like you're a failure and you fear this you have this fear of failure, well, wonderful. You're doing something right. So, the other thing for me is this. The second thing is about what do we define as success? And a lot of people, the success is the house, the car, the job, career, the pretty partner or husband or whatever. And for me, that's just an aspect of it. That's a very small aspect. But a lot of the people who are searching for this, they're going for the money, they're going for the career. They're not going for happiness. And the Dalai Lama is quoted as saying your business is happiness. Your life business is happiness. I mean, yeah, Abraham Hicks says, their definition of success is joy. And the more that I live in this life, the more that I see that although I feel like a failure, I'm not a failure, because I live more and more in joy. I do still get into spaces of, anger or, different emotions coming up. But more and more I'm feeling, I'm unique. I'm being in my joy. And therefore I am successful. Just as you, by listening to this, you are successful. And therefore, yes, you might feel a failure. And it's really important that we feel this. And what I do the EFT, I'll tap, or TFT. I feel this. And I just tap along. And then I let it go. I honour, this is what I feel, and then I let it go. So I'm just going to check how long I've been talking. It's amazing how I can talk and talk and talk, so I apologise. So I just wanted to say that if you feel, fear of failure, then that's totally okay. What can you do about it? Just be with it. Know that it's an illusion which has been set up. That actually, to feel that shows that something's right. That you're actually connecting with your uniqueness, because you can't fail. And this is something I really wanted to point out, is that you look at the wisest, you look at the most successful people out there like Richard Branson or people like that, and they will say that they have just gone from failure to failure to failure, just jumping, because that is where we learn. In my own life, my greatest challenges, where I've been kind of pulling my face along the gravel pits of life, that is where I've learnt the greatest things. The humility, the compassion, the love. So some people would call it a failure, but actually it's not. So this is an important thing to remember, that actually failure is a brilliant thing. It teaches us, what's not working, and then we can get up. But because of our conditioning that we can't fail, we cannot fail, we feel it's tough, so keep persevering. If you're feeling like you're failing, let's get up. Let's support each other. Let's get up. Let's keep going. You're doing amazingly well. You are. Do the tapping, just under the collarbone point. Breathe in, just feel into it, and I can do some tapping as well about this. Underneath the eye bone. The bone underneath the eye. Just feel it. Feel a failure. And then grab your wrist, breathe in, and as you breathe out, just say peace and relax. So well done for being here, for feeding yourself, for feeding your soul, your heart, by just spending this time reflecting. So well done. It's amazing. So this is about failure. So blessing.